benefits of obedience. Being trained to do. So all of us are in ministry, different levels of ministry. So the message, okay. So I hope we cleared the doubt so you can now focus. Don't focus on my attire. I could have worn something more attractive, but I'm in service. And this is service uniform, especially for this season. All right. So the first thing I want everyone to type in is every minister of the gospel is a builder. Did you hear that? Every minister of the gospel is a builder. Where do you find that? Ephesians chapter 4 from verse 11. It says he has called them apostle, prophet, teachers, evangelists, pastors and teachers to do what? For the building of the saints. So every one of us can do ministry. Every child of God is a minister. The only difference is that others are called to train those that will do the work of the ministry. They are doing their work by doing what? Training others to do, and others are being trained to do. So all of us are in ministry, different levels of ministry. So the message will be coming tonight. The message that will be coming tonight or this evening will bless you at your level of building. First things first, who is a minister? I know you I'm glad you asked. You want to know the answer like I want to, or I wanted to know so bad, and then Daddy showed me. We are not here because we qualify to do a ministers' conference. We're here because we're instructed. I really want to emphasize that. This should be the third time I'm saying it. We're not doing a ministers' conference because we have arrived. We're doing a ministers' conference because we were instructed and we are obedient, and we're going to reap the result or benefits of obedience. I want to throw a few things at us, and then we begin to teach or build. The first thing I want us to remember is that the earth and the fullness belongs to the Lord, including you.
Amen.
You as a minister, you belong to the Lord. The people you lead belong to the Lord. The Bible actually call us shepherds. Means we take care of people that don't make sense. They're called sheep. If you're not familiar with my way of teaching, when I'm saying really deep things, I begin to laugh because I don't want you to miss it. When you say we are shepherds, it means we need to be examples. It means we need to handle the people, the resources. I know you saw the flyer. We have a little focus tonight. You need to handle the people, the resources, the money as a steward. Somebody that's been assigned. Now, the question is, who is a minister? That's what we want to answer before we even proceed to anything else. And we're going to look at 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 from verse 3 to 5. A minister of the gospel is someone that understands the gospel. Minister means you're dispensing, you're giving something out, you're ministering, you're giving out. But how are you going to be a minister of what you don't know? Think about that. Now you're going to ask yourself, what's the gospel? It's the good news. That's why a minister is a builder. Because you're building people with material that will cause their life to be sweet, to be good. For God so loved the world, He sent His Son that we will not perish. Means you will not just get bad easily. Your life will not just be negativity. But that you will not perish, but you have everlasting life. You will enjoy life on earth. You will die and go to heaven. Who is a minister? We're going to locate a minister in the Word because I like to locate everything in the Word. You don't want to define things by your feelings or by your emotions. I want to say this before we look at it. There are two kinds of ministers in this dispensation. There are ministers of the new covenant that minister by the Holy Spirit. Or they are ministers of the old covenant that minister according to their flesh. Not according to the Old Testament laws. No, according to the flesh. You want to know, before we proceed, you want to settle. Ask yourself this question. Am I a New Testament minister? Or I minister in the flesh or by the flesh? It's very important. It doesn't matter the area where you minister. Your ministry could just be at home, to your children, to your friends, to your siblings. You might not have your pulpit might not be in a church setting. But where do we minister? Are we ministers according to the Spirit, or we're ministers according to the flesh? Do you minister according to what you like, what you want, or you minister according to the word? 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. It said the minister of the gospel is somebody who understands the gospel or the message of the gospel. Gospel means good news. Means you have settled that what you carry is good. You have settled that what you give out is good. Now, when you study from verse 3, it says clearly that you need to be entrusted with this gospel. What I want us to look at is the word entrusted. When you read it from different translations, it says that a minister of a gospel is the one that has been pre-qualified and pre-approved to teach other people the word of the gospel. The question tonight is, are you a minister? In the Bill family, we have our mission statement, which is also our vision statement, is all together is you need to build yourself so you can build someone else. To be an effective New Covenant, New Testament minister, you want to be able to know the Word of God and know the Spirit behind the Word so you do not minister the flesh. Now, what is the pre-qualification the Bible is talking about? That as a minister, you need to be pre-qualified. Is it something that's difficult? Is it something that's challenging? No. But I'll tell you the truth. It's a training. Somebody say training. Type it. You can say it if you're not muted. It's a training. Okay. Every minister of the gospel will be trained. You might not be trained in a formal Bible school, but you'll be trained. I trust that he will train you. He will train you anyhow. But as long as you don't run away from your training, you will be an effective minister. Why is he training us? What is the need for training? He's training us so that our message will be the gospel. Our message will be the good news. The delivery will be good news. And the way we will speak and act and interpret the scriptures and impact other people will be what? Through the good news. And training us. What is the need for training? By training, you will be an effective minister. Why is he training us? What is the need for training? He's training us so that our message will be the gospel. Our message will be the good news. The delivery will be good news. And the way we will speak and act and interpret the scriptures and impact other people will be what? Through the good news. And how will he do it? What is Daddy's method of training? When you study 2 Corinthians, it says clearly, it says only the comfort that you have received from Daddy that you can now comfort other people with. What does that mean? The areas that you have been training, you might like, okay, I don't know if I've been trained. Check your life. The places you've been through, the pain you've been through is a very key word, been through. Is an indication, it's an indicator to you as to where you're called to build, as to your area in the kingdom. I don't want to dwell there too much. If not, we'll be derailed and we don't have that time, right? There's something I want us to see. When Daddy wants to send you out as a minister, or because you're already a minister, send out, there are a few things he will make sure he irons out before he sends you out. The first one is crowd approval. To be an effective minister, Daddy will work on you to the point where it doesn't matter if you're ministering to 1 or you're ministering to 10,000, you're going to be doing it as unto the Lord. Does he like 3 people more than he likes 50 million? No, he likes 1 person as much as he likes 25 million. Miss Eva, where are you coming from with this standard? It's right there. It's right there in First Thessalonians chapter 2. He would test you and see if you're serving him for the crowd or you're serving him for him. It's a very important test. Those are the pre-qualifications. When you pass that test, that's when he's like, okay, you're ready to step out and serve me. Number 2, he makes sure that both you, the minister, and the message that you preach. Now, I have to stop and say this. Not every man you call a minister is a minister. Not everybody you see on the pulpit is a minister of the gospel. They are teaching their own thing. Why? Because this pre-qualification will also help you to know if your pastor, the man you sit under every week, is a minister or not. Are they sent or not? You will know. We're doing the pre-qualification together. That's why I told everyone to come. It's not only for ministers. You also learn. You want to know if your minister is truly a minister. Somebody say, what if I know one? What will I do? It's left to you. Remember, we're not going to build anyhow. You don't want to build your life just like that. You want to build with the right material. If your minister is not a minister, then he's not going to give you the right material. So what is this pre-qualification about? Number 1, to make sure you're not serving the crowd. Somebody's like, you said we're going to talk about how to manage people. This is the foundation. If this right here is not handled, anything else we teach you will not even work. So let's make sure we build the foundation, and we'll show you the management in less than 10 minutes. What is he checking for? Number 1 is making sure that both the minister and the message, there is no error in the minister and there's no error in the message. It is possible for a minister to live a life that is full of error, but their message is okay. Their message is the good news. It's also easy, it's possible for the minister to not be living in error, but they are teaching error. So what would that be? Full of error, but their message, error in the message. It is possible for a minister to live a life that is full of error, but their message is okay. It is possible for a minister to live a life that is full of error, but their message is okay. Their message is the good news. It's also easy, it's possible for the minister to not be living in error, but they are teaching error. To not believe, so easy, it's possible for the minister to not be living in error, but they are teaching error. The minister message is the good news. It's also easy, it's possible for the minister to not be living in error, but they are teaching error. So what would daddy do before he sends you out? He will make sure that both you, the minister, and your message is void of error. Listen, as we're teaching and you're a minister and you're listening to me, I know one of the things the enemy would like to do, he would like to condemn you. You don't want to listen to that. You want to listen so that, don't focus on the condemnation. Listen to this so that after this message, you can go back and evaluate where you are. That's the purpose. It's not for condemnation. No, it's for building. It's for building. I wanted to say that. Number 2, what is the purpose of the pre-qualification? Number 3, not 2, number 3. At least I have it numbered this time. Number 3, mixed motives. Oh, I have to say it again. Daddy will send you out as a minister. The reason he's sending you out is because he has checked your motives. You're free from mixed motives. You're not stepping out to serve him for any other reason, but because he asked you to do so. Mixed motives. The next one, you're free from hidden agendas. You don't have your own agenda. They didn't like me at that church. I'm just going to start my own church, and everybody's going to come to me. By the way, I'm a better preacher. No, that's your agenda. Remember, we said from the beginning, God's agenda for the minister is what? Is to build. So if you step out and you're doing anything other than building lives, you have your own agenda. That hidden agenda was number 4. Number 5, he's going to make sure that you're not a preacher that will preach because you want people to give you money. You're not a preacher that's preaching because you want to share the latest or revelation. Can I tell you, I have not shared my latest revelations during this conference because they want people to give you money. You're not a preacher that's preaching because you want to share the latest or revelation. That you're not a preacher that will preach because you want people to give you money. You're not a preacher that's preaching because you want to share the latest or revelation. That you're not a preacher that will preach because you want people to give you money. You're not a preacher that's preaching because you want to share the latest or revelation. Can I tell you, I have not shared my latest revelations during this conference because that's not what it's about. The conference is about saying what he wants us to say. It's about telling his people to give the word he's given to his people for the season. It's not about us ministers. It's about what he wants us to do with his people. We started by saying the earth and the people and the fullness thereof belongs to him, not to us, including us. We belong to him. When did it get to a point where ministry is about self? It's about what we want. It's about how we want. Including us, we belong to him. When did it get to a point where ministry is about self? It's about what we want. It's about how we want. When did it get to a point where ministry is about self? It's about what we want. It's about how we want. That's where the problem is. And that's why we have this forum. I believe this one. Point where ministry is about self. It's about what we want. It's about how we want. That's where the problem is. And that's why we have this forum. I believe this is one of the reasons we can correct this. When daddy wants to pre-qualify you, what is he looking for? That your life is not a smoke screen. You don't have two standards. You don't come out and behave one way, and in the public, you're one way, and out at home or with your close relationship, you're different. Not a smoke screen. And number 7, that you're not taking advantage of his people. What does he expect when he has preached of his people? That you're not taking advantage of his people. 7, that you're not taking advantage of his people. What does he expect when he has pre-screened you, pre-qualified you? What does he expect? He expects all of us ministers to be one, very caring, very loving and caring towards his people. Do you know the people you lead know your heart? Do you know very loving and caring towards his people? Do you know the people you lead know your heart? It's true. If you don't love them, they can tell. People will hear your heart more than they hear your message. It is true. They will hear your heart more than you hear your message. How do you become an effective minister of the New Testament? Still in the book of Thessalonians. You see, all of what I'm teaching is from Thessalonians. It's right there. How do you know an effective minister? It's right there. For you to be an effective minister, go through your pre-qualification, love the people, serve them from your heart as unto the Lord. If you serve people because of people, you will get burnt out really quick. Because man is designed to take. They will take and take. If you serve people because of people, you will get burnt out really quick. Serve people because of people, you will get burnt out really quick. Serve people because of people, you will get burnt out really quick. Because man is designed to take. They will take and take and take and take and take until you will not even designed to. You will get burnt out really quick. Because man is designed to take. They will take and take and take and take and take. Because man is designed to take. They will take and take and take and take and take until you will not even have life. Or you will not be alive. But this is what we're saying. You will know that you're a true minister. Now this is you. How can you know that you are an effective minister? How will you know that you're truly a blessing? You've gone through your training and now you want to know if you are truly effective. Number 1, you're not a burden to the people you lead. Can we type that in? When you are not a burden to the people you lead, then you are a great minister. Means you're ministering to them. You're not a weight. Let's flip it around. For you to know an effective minister, they will not be a burden to you. No, not a burden financially. They are not needy. They are not visiting you at odd hours. Now, please don't visit the people you need at odd hours. I don't know why you want to visit them. All right, let's stay with the teaching before I divert again. How do I know I'm an effective minister? Not a burden. Number 2, you're discreet and you're cautious. You're not needy. You're not everywhere. Discreet in your words, discreet in your dress, needy, and you're cautious. You're not needy. You're not everywhere. You're discreet and you're cautious. You're not needy. You're not everywhere. Discreet in your words, discreet in your dressing, discreet in your attitude, discreet with the friends you hang around. An effective minister is a discreet man or woman. They are cautious. They talk with respect. They talk with dignity. They talk to build. Somebody's like, Mama, you always talk firm. That's building. A lot of people think if you're a builder, you're just going to be smiling. And no, I smile, I play. But I know when I put my builder's hat on, like in the real practical sense of it, I can smile while I'm telling you, you have to put that block right there. How do you know you're an effective minister? You see the people you lead as a privilege. You see those you're privileged to lead as fellow believers. You don't see them like these needy, stupid, wandering people. That's why I love King David. King David was a leader that any one of us can really follow and enjoy kingdom life as a leader. He went for the nobody and he trained them. At the end of his life, his nobodies became the mighty men of David. You're called? Show me the people that were nobody, that through your life have become somebodies. So what did we say? You see them as, you see the people you lead. You see leading them as a privilege, not as a responsibility, not as a chore, not like a weight. You see them as a privilege. How do you know you are an effective minister? You see the people you lead. You see yourself as a father holding their hands. When you begin to hold people's hands, instead of giving them high falls, maybe high falls with your hand or with your words, then you know you are a father. When you talk about father, what does that mean? It's a source for good things, a source for leadership. Parent, father, the word father, the root for the word father means source. When you see yourself as the source of their strength, can they run to you and they are safe, or they run to you and they are sad? How do you know safe, or they run to you and they are sad? And they are safe, source of their strength. Can they run to you and they are safe, or they run to you and they are sad? And they are safe, their strength. Can they run to you and they are safe, or they run to you and they are sad? You and they are safe, or they run to you and they are sad. How do you know you're an effective minister? You are a depot of encouragement. The people you're leading, they run to you for encouragement and they will get it. You're walking with them step by step in their growth. Now, what is the result for effective ministry? I want you to listen. This is very important. You see it from verse 15. 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 from verse 15. What's the result of effective ministry or living an effective minister's life? Number 1, Daddy will be pleasing to you. You will not just be pleasing to Daddy. I'll explain it. It's both ways, but I started with the one that is least, that many people don't know. When you're truly doing the word of God, you will never be offended with God. Do you know why many ministers get burnt out? You're doing your own thing. You will be pleased with daddy, and daddy will be pleased with you. Can I tell us something, ministers? Anytime God is not pleased with you, it's a matter of time. You will not be pleasing to the people you lead. If you, it's a matter of time, ministers. Anytime God is not, can I tell us something, ministers? Anytime God is not pleased with you, it's a matter of time. You will not be pleasing to the people you lead. If you are leading and you're pleasing to daddy, you'll be pleasing to the people you lead. How to daddy? You are leading and you're pleasing to daddy, you'll be pleasing to the people you lead. How can I be pleasing to daddy? By number one, seeing the people that you lead as your pride and joy. Lead them as a shepherd. Lead them with the understanding that you'll be rewarded for what you did to them. What you did to them, what you did in their lives. As a shepherd, will be judged as shepherds. And if, like we've seen the whole week, if what you have taught them, what you're teaching them, you're not practicing it in your own personal life, everything you're teaching them will burn. What if they take it and run with it? They'll get their reward. It's true. You need to hear Apostle Paul, he say, I beat myself. I have to beat myself. So that after I have taught everyone else, I will not become a castaway. Somebody say, hell will be incomplete if there are no pastors. I say former pastors. Because you cannot be doing your job as a minister and end up in hell. It's not possible. Daddy is very, 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 Daddy is very, very, please, somebody is asking for help. Can we check that on one of the platforms? It just popped on my WhatsApp. Please help somebody on the queue. Okay. These are really simple but powerful truths. You know, many people think these are really simple but powerful truths. These are really simple but powerful truths. You know, many people think if you come to a ministers forum like this, we should speak Greek and Hebrew. No, the people we lead don't speak Greek and Hebrew. Let's talk practical. Let's talk about things that happen in leadership. Now, when you look at the flyer, the first thing, I want to go back to the flyer so we can handle these things one-on-one. It's very important. The flyer says, I want to go according to the sequence that we have. Sources. The most effective way to manage ministry resources. The most effective way to manage ministry resources is you. You don't believe me. It's you. When you are in alignment, manage ministry resources is you. The most effective way to manage ministry resources is you. You don't believe me. It's you. Resources is you. You don't believe me. It's you. When you are in alignment, the people you lead will be in alignment. Are in alignment. The people you lead will be in alignment. It is true. You want to manage the overall health of the ministry can be managed by your personal life. One, your personal study life as a minister will reflect on the people you lead. Now, let me talk to those that follow. You want to check. If you're not growing spiritually, could it be that your pastor is not growing spiritually? Could it be you lead? Now, let me talk to those that follow. You want to check. If you're not growing spiritually, could it be that your pastor is not growing spiritually? Could it be? So be that if you're not growing spiritually, could it be that your pastor is not growing spiritually? Could it be that if you're not growing spiritually, could it be that your pastor is not growing spiritually? To check. If you're not growing spiritually, could it be that your pastor is not growing spiritually? Could it be? It's a possibility. Ministers, you want the people you lead to give financially? The best way to manage the finances, this is the conclusion. You know, I always give conclusion, then I teach. The best way to manage the finances of the ministry, take it from me, is by you being a giver. When you give, the grace will trickle to those you lead. It is true. You don't like the way the ministry finances are? Check your life. Most of the time, as goes the pastor or the leader, so goes the people. Maybe you've experienced this. You went to a ministry. You connected yourself to a ministry. And before you know it, you used to argue about tithe and offering. Now you're not arguing anymore. You used to have a challenge giving. Now you're not your challenge anymore. So that the report card is very clear. Your former pastor was not a giver. Yes, he preached anymore about tithe and offering. Now you're not arguing anymore. You used to have a challenge giving. Now you're not your challenge anymore. So that the report card is very clear. Your former pastor was not a giver. Yes, he preached about giving, but he didn't give. And if you're here and you're listening to me, you're a big family member, you're not giving, you're on your own because I don't play with giving. So what is the balance? Before you conclude that it was your pastor, check well. Your pastor, if he's a giver, your minister or your leader is a giver, and you're not giving, it's not your minister. So don't put it on the minister. We want to make that balance. If he's a giver, your minister or your leader is a giver, and you're not giving, it's not your minister. So don't put it on the minister. We want to make that balance. All right, we want to look at general management, how to manage as a whole, and then we'll look at those specific areas. We have talked about the fact that all the areas can be managed by the life of the leader. Do we agree? If you agree, let me see your thumbs up. You don't have to unmute. Yes. How to manage ministry resources, talking about finances, human time, and location. Yes. When the leader is in place and they are doing their part, it will reflect on everyone else. So, pastor, before you complain and say your congregation is selfish, let's check you first. Are you a giver? How serious are you in your prayer life and your word life? All right, ministers, let's stay on the ministers for a while now. The people have been giving you all good food from both sides, but I want to focus on the ministers. This is the ministers forum, so let's focus on the minister. Ministers, beware of something I call spiritual abuse. Beware of spiritual abuse as you manage the resources called man or human resource. Why is it something we emphasize? Why is it something I want to bring to our understanding, especially in this session? Number one, because talent is not everything. Can we write that down? Talent is not everything. Availability is not everything. Willingness, loyalty, productivity is not everything. There are some people the Lord will bring into your life or into the ministry or into the assignment for a particular assignment. But sometimes because they are available to serve in every department, guess what we do? Oh my goodness, they are very faithful with the song ministry. Okay, and they are always available. Let's make them an usher. After they sing, no, they'll lead people into the church, and then when it's time for praise and worship, they go sing, and then they come back again and be an usher. And then at the end of the day, they are the armor bearer of the pastor or the pastor's wife. Now, this is what we call spiritual abuse. Another level of spiritual abuse is when you see somebody come into the church and you're like, oh my goodness, they have money, so I'm going to make them the you don't like this part, I know. Putting people in positions they don't qualify for because you want to keep them. It's spiritual abuse. They came to the church for spiritual growth. They didn't come so you can manipulate them. So you need to watch out when you begin to manage your people. Know and be aware that is something called spiritual abuse. Overusing one person in 7, 8 places in a congregation, in a ministry, is not allowed. A few years ago, should be 2 years now, we had somebody in the Bill family that was occupying about, I think, 3 or 4 key positions. And I was praying, and the Lord told me, He said, you have to do something immediately. And personally, I didn't see what was wrong. And that's when He opened up. I've been teaching on spiritual abuse, but I didn't see this part as spiritual abuse. I was like, they're available. I was like, oh, they're talented, Lord. They're willing. As a matter of fact, they asked that they wanted to. He said, no, it is spiritual abuse, number one. Number two, it's even to your disadvantage. It's to your disadvantage. If that person becomes Elsha uncle or Elsha everything else and want to leave the ministry, you're going to need at least 4 people or another human being to abuse and put them in those 4 positions. Human management. Be wise when you manage people. Talent is not enough. So let me talk to the other people. Because you're talented, don't mean you have to do everything at church or you have to do everything in your spiritual community. Know where you fit. And if your spiritual leader say, can you do this? You say, I can't, but I'm not available. I can't, but I think I don't qualify. I can't, but I don't think I'll be faithful. I'm doing a balance. I'm teaching both ways. I'm not sure why you all are pulling. Those who are not ministers, be listening. Don't pull. Yes, people management, that's what you do. Still under people management, rewards. Rewards are important. We saw this week that will be rewarded. If your daddy, the God you're serving, reward the people that serve him, how about you? The easiest, cheapest reward is thank you. Do you stop to say thank you? How about their birthdays? Do you pray for them? Do you visit, at least on the phone or text? You know, you can visit somebody on the phone, right? You can visit people 5 times a day if you want. You know, you can visit somebody on the phone, right? Or text. You know, you can visit somebody on the phone, right? You can visit people 5 times a day if you want. On the phone, right? You can visit people 5 times a day if you want. On the phone. Hi, I was thinking about you. Are you okay? Oh, I love you. Talk to you soon. That's a form of reward. You're available. You're a good leader. Do you reward them? Okay, let's say you do. We're talking about people's management. We're going to financial management. That one is a bit. We've done a lot of teachings already. So we'll put the financial management together with the offering message because there's an offering message for this ministers forum. Financial management together. Okay, let's say you do. We're talking about people's management. We're going to financial management. That one is a bit. We've done a lot of teachings already. So we'll put the financial management together with the offering message because there's an offering message for this ministers forum. We have to give as ministers. We'll have to give at the end. So, but let's look at this. The rewards and promotion. Let's assume that you know this part and you're doing it. This is the question I have for you. What are your rewards and promotions based on? Is it based on I love you? Is it based on I really, really think you're talented? Is it based on your emotions? Is it based on availability? What makes you reward one of those that serve under you? You're the leader and they're serving under you. What makes you reward them? That's a question. If somebody can chat, I'll be happy. How do you reward, by the way? If you do, why? What's the procedure for reward and promotion in your church or in your ministry? What are the criteria? The heart is beating though. How about you? What makes you reward one person or what makes you promote somebody? You have to have a system. It needs to be in place. Yeah, somebody said they reward with money. That's good. But why are you rewarding them with money? Your mentees, your child, anyone that you're leading. Why, when you reward them, what's the purpose of the reward? You see, I'm still in here. I want us to think. I want us to participate. Rewards should be, or promotion should be, because they earn it. You remember what we saw? You think in heaven that is just going to reward us? No, we're going to earn it. There are people that will not earn rewards for a long time. Don't be moved. Stay focused. Reward people because they earn their rewards. And that's a beautiful thing with our kingdom. Every time you earn a reward, Daddy will not console any other person. He will give you your rewards. It is true. All right, people management. This reward is big. I wanted to say some things and I'm like, I'm just going to move. You don't reward people because you like them more than the other person. You don't reward people to show, or especially when it comes to promotion. You don't promote people so somebody else can say, oh, I need to do better. You don't promote so you can punish another person. You don't promote to encourage division. You encourage to promote growth. Oh, I pray you're listening. As a leader, you don't promote people to promote division. You promote to do what? You promote and you reward to promote more growth. It is true. All right, we're going to go to another aspect when it comes to people management. It's called discipline. Do you discipline at all? Builders. Where are the builders? Where are the builders? Remember, we say all kingdom leaders are builders, right? We said that from the beginning. People management. Do you discipline? Do you know there are pastors that will never tell you you came late to church and that was not okay?